Did you know that there are levels to becoming an entrepreneur, just like a Jedi Knight? What are they? Stay tuned and find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it up.
What is up? What is up? What is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your ongoing dose of entrepreneurial force learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, that, my friends, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, or maybe you're one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. That's why I'm here hitting you with yet another solo success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ as we dive deep into success with some actionable advice, tips and steps designed to help you level up your game, your entrepreneurial game, your personal development game, your relationship game. Man, they're all intertwined, right? But at the end of the day, we all know there are no shortcuts in this game to success except for taking those little steps toward your goal every single day. Now, before we kick this off, I want to make sure you keep getting all these daily success episodes, as well as the amazing guests I'm lucky enough to bring on to the show. And to do that, you want to go on down there and you want to hit that subscribe button. Then you want to go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating. Now, you don't have to leave us a 5-star rating. Hitting that subscribe button is how you're going to get the show. Leaving the 5-star rating and dropping us some kind words in the reviews. Heck, ask a question. I read every single one of the reviews. These subscribes, ratings, and reviews are your way of telling the podcast platforms that are out there that you are getting value from this show. And that lifts us up a little bit in the algorithms so that we can reach more driven entrepreneurs just like you. So please go on, hit that subscribe, drop that 5-star, leave those ratings, and help us spread the word by showing the love. Much appreciated. So this particular episode came from me flashing back to the original Star Wars movie. And I know most of you have probably seen the Star Wars movie. If not all of them, you should go watch them. They are classics. They are amazing cinematic, masterpieces. I don't know. It just, my tongue tripped over my eye teeth and I can't see what I'm saying right now. They're awesome movies for anybody who enjoys a good story as well as some amazing effects. And even for their time, the original Star Wars was way ahead of the curve. And if you look at it today, it's still pretty darn good. But anyway, I want to get to a specific scene. There's a scene where Yoda is riding on Luke Skywalker's back through the swampy lands where he's getting some of his Jedi training. And they come to that tree, right? We all know that the tree that's just, they all get that feeling from. And Luke's like, what is that? He goes, that's a place of darkness. And it ends up being the tree that Luke has to go into to face his dark side, right? And you've heard me talk about this in the past. And this is where this episode really kind of started from. I was thinking about, we as people, to really break through and become the next level of Jedi that we want to become, we have to enter that tree. We have to go into that darkness. We have to face ourselves, right? And I was going to do a whole episode on that, but I do that so much. And then that spun off into, there are levels of Jedi. And then that brought me to what we're going to chat about today, the levels of entrepreneurship. And, they don't align perfectly with the levels of Jedi, because I believe there's a few extra levels, but we're going to align them here. But if you think about it, right? And if you're a Star Wars fan, I hope I don't butcher this too much. Please feel free to email me, tracy@darkhorseschooling.com, and correct me if you would like, or go into the podcast platform you're listening to, and where you can write a review. put your corrections in there. I'm happy to be corrected on where I get some of the Star Wars lore incorrect. My brother Robbie would probably kill me for even making any mistake that I may make in this episode today. If we start off, right, the first level of Jedi is a youngling. Right? And I don't know if you want to officially call that a level of Jedi. I believe the first official one is an initiate, but I think the younglings and the initiates kind of align together, right? You could call it a Jedi hopeful. I'm a hopeful entrepreneur, right? You're that person that has this big idea. You see the gap in the marketplace. You're like, I know how to fill that gap. Right? You either have the skills or you know the people that have the skills and you have the organizational aptitude to bring those people together into a cohesive unit to fill that void. You haven't done it yet, but you're excited about it, right? You're that youngling, right? The whole world is wide open to you and you're going to go out there and you're going to barnstorm everything with that passion that younglings seem to have. Then you start, right? And I think this is level 1. And for the entrepreneurship realm, I think this level 1, let's call this self-employment, right? Maybe you're the solopreneur. You're running the business on your own. You're doing everything. You have all the hats. You have the marketing hat. You have the HR hat. You have the sales hat. You have the customer service hat. You have the service deployment hat. You wear all the hats, right? That's that level 1. You're trying to do it all. Much like our younglings, maybe they start seeing that and they start trying things. They're doing it all. They're so excited. Like, I just want to do it. And you're making mistakes along the way and you're learning from those mistakes and then you're moving forward. So, I think that's really that ground floor that so many get excited about and so many fall away from because they're like, man, this is a lot of work, right? How many of the younglings in the Star Wars stories are you told that, well, yeah, maybe you don't have the stuff? Forget the fact that you have the right, what is that stuff called in your blood? I think it was called like metachlorines or something like that. Anyway, where it was detected in your blood. Anyway, so you have that. It's in your blood and you're going for it and you're trying things because you're excited to fill that void, to provide that service to those that are in your tribe, right? That are in your audience, who you resonate, your fellow Jedi, your those outside of the Jedi realm even. And then I think the next level 2, is the Padawan, right? This is the person that's now starting to get under the tutelage of someone that's at least a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Master. So you as an entrepreneur are getting the tutelage from someone who's gone before you, who's honed their lightsaber skills, who's honed their ability to control the Force and do good, or if you want to be on the dark side, do evil. But you're here listening to this show, so I'm going to assume you're wanting to do good with your powers. So you're now getting that tutelage to fine-tune your abilities, all that fervor you had as a youngling. Let's start channeling it so all that energy is not being wasted. And now you're getting better faster, right? You're able to get out to the market, to your prospects and to your potential clients quicker. You're able to find the right ones. You're able to use that force within you to find those that you can help, right? They're called to you, right? Just open yourself up, right? A youngling doesn't know how to do this yet, but a Jedi Master, right? That entrepreneurial master can teach you how to channel that marketing, right? If we step away from the Star Wars analogy for a moment, to get you to the right folks quicker. And sometimes you're like, well, that's not going to work, and it does, right? And as you start to learn these skills, you move up to become a Jedi Knight. Now, this is in the entrepreneur world. I think this is the entrepreneur that now is also a manager, right? You have a team underneath you. You could do it as a youngling or a Padawan, but you're probably going to move forward slower as a result because you'd still be learning all the skills to make your business hum and how to make your interactions with your team hum as well. Whereas, okay, now I've got the business going. I've got the process set up, and I know how things work because I've had to do them all and I've built it all. Now let's take this piece of it and farm it out, hire someone in, bring in a consultant, bring in a freelancer, bring in a full-time employee to do that role. Say the marketing piece of it, or say the sales piece of it, or say the accounting piece of it. Well, now you're going to start honing your managerial skills. And that's where I think the Jedi Knight piece comes in, because now Jedi Knights can teach people, right? And bring them together into a cohesive unit. And that's the next level of your entrepreneurship journey as well. Now, the next level after Jedi Knight, I believe, if I'm not incorrect here, is Jedi Master, right? And in the entrepreneur world, I think this is business owner, because there's so many facets to the business. And I mentioned them earlier, right? That you previously wore the hats. Now you have people that you've brought in to wear some of those hats for you so that you can channel your chi, your force power to where you are the best at, be that hacking and carving away at the marketplace, be that finding, using your inner powers to find the right clientele to bring in, be it customers or whatever your powers. You could just be that visionary, right? You see off into the future like Yoda did. I could see how things can play out if this goes like that. Maybe you're that visionary. So you start building that plan and you have everyone else do it. That's a business owner. You're out there focusing on cash flow and making sure you have the ability to make upcoming capital purchases, paying off the bills, putting out raises, managing the assets, the whole 9 yards. And this is when the economy is good and when it's bad, because trust me, it's going to go both ways, right? Your force is going to tell you, I'm looking off on the horizon and I see a downswell coming. So I got to be prepared to manage the things around here. That's the level of a business owner. That's that Jedi master shit right there that you're going to be leveling up to. Now, if we flip back over to our Jedi levels, I believe the next one would be a counselor. They're a member of the Jedi Council, which is, for me, is becoming members, say, of the board, or where you become a consultant for someone else. Someone hires you to say, you know what, you're doing such amazing things over there. I want you to come over here and help me improve my business. I want you to give me your tutelage, your guidance. This is more than just being that Jedi Master where you're teaching something to somebody. This is where they're like, man, you are an expert at X, whatever X. Man, I want to learn how you wield that lightsaber so efficiently. And you go over there and you teach them to wield the lightsaber, and you teach them how to teach others to wield the lightsaber. You're not just teaching them, but you're becoming a part of their board, right? You're a member of their council, and they come to you for that tutelage, and you help guide them along their path through the darkness and through the light, of course. And I think the last level on both sides, maybe not. I think that the last level of there would be the Grand Master, right? Oh yeah. We're talking the Yodas of the space, right? The Grand Masters. These are the folks that go out there and they find the Padawans and they find the younglings and they bring them to the right Jedi Master. They make those connections. I think in the entrepreneur world, this could be your investors, right? Because they're out there always looking for the next opportunity. They've generated some wealth for themselves and for their staff. Now they're trying to take that wealth and best manage it. So that's next level stuff, right? And when you're that Grand Master inside the Jedi realm, you're doing next level stuff as well. So I think that's where those start to align. You're like, okay, now can I go out there and find a youngling and invest in them in time, in resources, in connections, right? And help them build in knowledge, to share the knowledge that I've learned over your trials and tribulations along your path to becoming a Jedi Master, is by becoming that entrepreneurial investor in them, right? Where you can learn, real estate, stock market, business investing, startups, whatever it may be for you. That's that next level. And I think at this, there may be one more level where you're that, maybe it's an investor too, but you're that level of entrepreneur where you're using other people's ideas, other people's talents and time to create additional wealth for them as well as yourself, right? I think that's the pinnacle. That's that grand master, ultimate master. I don't know. I just made that up right there. I know there's not an ultimate master in the Jedi world, but if you think about it, if you remember the scenes after Yoda passed away, you kept seeing them. So there's this other level past, what we know. So I think there's probably a level past that investor. And I think it's probably in the entrepreneurship world, it's that level where you're seeing something and you're going, oh, there's an opportunity. Oh, there's some money over there. Oh, there's someone that's got the talent, and you bring them all together. And it's not even your business at that point. You're just the facilitator, right? You're just bringing them all together. You're like the ghost in the machine, bringing all the thing together, and maybe it helps generate some wealth for them and for you as a result. Yeah? See? You can line those up. So where are you at in your journey? Are you the youngling, hungry and excited about the journey in front of you? Huh? Are you the Padawan, right? You're starting your journey. You're grinding away. Maybe you haven't found your Jedi Master to teach you yet. It's very important. You hear me talk about that a lot. You hear just about every one of the guests I've had on board mention someone in their sphere of influence that altered their direction via their tutelage, their guidance, and their counselorship. Maybe you're a Jedi Knight already, right? You're out there hacking and slashing away, and you have Padawans under you that you're teaching, right? You're getting them through the Jedi trials, right? What was the Jedi trials? There was a trial of courage, a trial of skill, and a trial of self, right? We talk about stepping into that dark tree, right? Known as facing the mirror. And then there was a trial of flesh, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I'm getting off on a Star Wars tangent here. Or maybe you, my friend, are a Jedi Master, and you're here refreshing your skill set, refreshing your information, or just keeping your finger on the pulse of what's going on out there. Are you a counselor? Yeah? You're out there serving others on their boards and helping them. Or are you the Grand Master? Are you the Yoda of entrepreneurship? And if you are, give me a holler, right? Reach out to me, because I want to bring you on the show so you can share your knowledge. Heck, even if you're a Padawan or a Jedi Master, reach out to me. Let's get you on the show. Let's talk about your journey along your path of entrepreneurship. All right, that's enough of that. That's my little venture into the Jedi Masters of Entrepreneurs. Hope you enjoyed it. With that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.